Guten Tag und willkommen to A Fish on the Dry. I'm Wright Seneres. This is episode 16, Rose to the Occasion. Part 1, Frankfurt. 2 weekends ago, our World Tour Express pulled into Frankfurt, Germany's 5th largest city. It was nice to be in a big city, with a little more cosmopolitan fare, than little old Paderborn. We met up with another awesome Fulbrighter, Katie, who was living there. We went out for delicious Vietnamese dinner. Katie also had the inside scoop on some superlative cinnamon rolls at this bakery called Zeit für Brot. These are like the cinnamon Rolls Royce of cinnamon rolls. I'm glad I ate that. Just as I had a hamburger in Hamburg, on my list was to have a Frankfurter in Frankfurt. I finally did, at the Palmen Garden of all places. The tropical plants were really neato. As was the camellia exhibit. Because I'm me, rose to the occasion and had a hamburger in Frankfurt. By coincidence, we stayed at an Airbnb that was a block away from Anne Frank's first home, before the Frank family fled the Nazis and went to Amsterdam. This is where she lived for the first 2 years of her life. Part 2, Carnival. About 3 weeks ago, I was in a grocery store and saw a big display of what looked like Halloween costumes. I was not on a time warp, but I soon learned what this was all about. Carnival. It has other names in other parts of the country, but all of this is Germany's version of Mardi Gras. Around here, Carnival lasts for days, and the first I saw of it was last Thursday, when packs of kids roamed around in costume, like a Halloween in Germany. Saturday in Paderborn was the big carnival parade. There were floats and marching bands and candy getting tossed into the crowd. And lots of people in costume. Each town has their own chant. And in Paderborn, the chant is Hazi Palau.
Hazi! Hazi! Hazi!
Which is a reference to the famous three-hair window at the local cathedral, and some combination of Paderborn and Carnival. I'll have more on the Dryhaus Fenster on a future episode. Now I go from 3 rabbits to a goose. I was most confused by there being not one, but 2 different Top Gun floats. I'm told that Top Gun is very popular in Germany, but not as popular as Hot Shots. If you're from the Pennsylvania Dutch area, then you may be familiar with Fastnachts, a type of donut that is popular on Fat Tuesday. It's not really a thing here in the Paderborn area, more of a South Germany thing. But I need no special occasion to have a donut, so I had a Berliner on Fat Tuesday. Part 3, Super Bowl. The 2 questions I was asked the most leading up to the big game were, is it being shown in Germany? And, are you going to stay up to watch it? The answers were yes and yes. You know how they always tell you at the beginning of the broadcast that the Super Bowl is being shown in X number of countries, and in X number of languages? It's really true. The Super Bowl was shown in over 170 countries, and in 8 different languages, German included. Germany is 6 hours ahead of the Eastern time zone. The kickoff was at 30 minutes past midnight. For my own personal Super Bowl party, I had German-style paprika-flavored potato chips. The Germans love this stuff. I'm glad I ate that. Tootsie's favorite teams are the Panthers, Jaguars, Bengals, and Lions. She was not impressed with the Denver horse team winning. Tootsie also likes the Super Food Bowl. Germany gets 2 NFL games every Sunday on the RAN network. I was ready for a moderate amount of football. Ron sent some of their studio crew to announce the game in German, including my favorite dude, Icke Domisch. They even dressed up for the occasion by wearing blazers, since they normally wear regular clothes in the studio, like they're at a sports bar and not a national broadcast in front of millions. One nice thing about the German broadcast was that there are very few commercials. Now it's spared from the dumb commercials America saw. Hooray, Fulbright year! Now for a little mustard. My Uncle Roy Seneres, the next elder brother up from my dad, died this week. We called him Uncle Nono, his family nickname. Have any of your uncles ever met Nelson Mandela? My uncle did once. He met all kinds of great people in his 68 years. But his passion in his life's work was in service to the common people. One time he and my cousin Roy Jr. and I were at a mall eating lunch more than 20 years ago. Some goof-off kids at the next table thought it'd be funny for one of them to spit out his soda onto RJ's jacket, so he did. RJ was justifiably angry. It was my uncle who coaxed an apology from the goof-offs and then calmed him down, all in what felt like mere seconds. This may not seem like a big deal, but it was quick thinking and negotiation skills like that, years later, that would help him save lives when he was a Philippine ambassador to the United Arab Emirates. Actual real human lives, saved from death row. His first save was a 14-year-old Filipina maid who was sentenced to death for retaliating against and killing her boss who tried to rape her. He was able to reduce her sentence and get her freed. He got the nickname Amba after that. He was a man of generosity. When we were kids, he would take my brother and me to the toy store, and we'd leave with some pretty cool Transformers. When I was getting married, he bought Alice her wedding dress. He was an inventor too. He once built a prototype for a self-cleaning litter box, also more than 20 years ago. He also built a prototype for a self-cleaning door handle, so you could walk into and out of public bathrooms with reduced germ contact. On the spectrum where cleanliness and godliness are, my uncle stood right in between. My uncle was a problem solver. Most great people are. Right before he died, he was running for president of the Philippines, on a platform for workers' rights, at home and overseas. It's a thing to behold, to know someone personally who was running for president, trying to become chief problem solver for 101 million people. Of course, my Uncle Nono, the Amba, should be president. He would help so many people. It was obvious. The word ambassador originated from the Latin ambactus, which later became ambasciatore in Italian, which later became ambassadeur in French, and in turn became ambassador in late Middle English. The Latin word ambactus means servant. He withdrew his candidacy last week because his health wouldn't have held up during the campaign. But none of us thought we'd have to say goodbye so soon. I always think of Ted Kennedy in times like these.
For all those whose cares have been our concern, the work goes on, the cause endures, the hope still lives, and the dream shall never die.
Thank you, Uncle Nono. We love you and we will continue your service. A Fish in the Dry is a Meteorite production and produced by me, Wright Seneres. More information, the website is afishinthedry.com. A new and improved website is in the works, so stay tuned for that. I tweet and Instagram at DianoWright. Send your cards and letters to afishinthedry@gmail.com if you prefer electronic mail. Either way, do say hello, or hallo if you're German. Thanks for watching. You know that raw oyster bar at the Berlin Farmers Market? My uncle loved that place.